Hello and welcome. It's Japan, and we have another tier list here for the match review from Survivor Series that was yesterday. I'm a little late today sending it out, so it's going to come out kind of almost towards the end of Sunday, but I wanted to digest this PLE, I guess. Definitely not procrastination or anything, definitely not. So we're going to go over the PLE in general, and we'll put our thoughts as best well out there for where we want to put these matches because I think it was definitely an up and down card. I don't think it was as good as it should have been. I mean, it was like a big four PLE. I feel like that's a big four PLE. You want like big four fill, and it definitely fell short of that. And yeah, we'll open up the discussion to you guys too, and see what you guys think because I definitely think I might be in the minority in this one. I feel like a lot of people liked it a lot more than I did, and I didn't quite like everything. But we'll put all the goods and bads and go forward. So let's start with what I think is bad. it's the women's war game match. Now this was the match that I thought would cook. Now I did have one bad feeling that it's the opening match. I was like, that does not make me feel good that this match is going to be as good as we thought. We'll just start from the start. I feel like Nia Jax was definitely the weak link. I don't really even think it would have been that bad if she just didn't come in at one. I think she was just a little too gassed, and she's been like I've been one of those people that I didn't really want Nia to come back, and then she came back and she was relatively like clean, good wrestling, no no hurting anybody. So I thought hell, everything that she's gotten this year, she's deserved. And then this kind of dropped her back a couple pegs because it just felt like I don't know why she was in this match if she couldn't stick it out like the rest of everybody else. And they just shouldn't have given her those spots where we knew we were going to be looking at her because she was the only one in the ring. So those chair shots were terrible. If you put Nia Jax in her own category, this match would be at the very, very, very bottom if it was just Nia Jax. I think there was a couple other botches here and there with some of the other people. I think overall, even Io, who had probably the best spots, it still just kind of felt like it was no different. She did the trash can thing. I mean, it's amazing, and having Tiffany do the moonsault at the same time was pretty cool. But or like, did she do a splash? I think she didn't do it a splash. It was a little off time, but I think that's a little harder to get. Um, that was pretty cool. But I mean, again, I don't think it was anything crazy. I think they were just kind of mimicking what they've done, and the rest of the wrestling inside of the ring was pretty bad. I guess we'll go. I guess we'll go to the. Well, I also feel like the cash in should have probably happened. I think that really would have definitely made the match more memorable and knocked it up a couple points just in that itself. The tease cash in, I get so tired of just getting blue balled with it all the time. It's just we want to see it. We want to see it already. I think we're all ready for that thing, and I don't think there's any story to be told that we haven't explored with Nia Jax if that's who she's cashing in on. So me in particular didn't think that was any good. So I guess we'll go to the good. I feel like a lot of the women showed up and had some really good matches. Obviously, Candice LeRae was one of those where a lot of people didn't want her in that match, but she was going to show out and show up, and she did. I think she did some solid spots. She had good work in there. I don't think you could say she did anything bad in there. Bianca did decent. Rhea coming back from injury looked good. Bailey, Liv Morgan was all good. I felt really bad for Raquel because she got like no pop coming out, and they didn't even give her like her own entrance. Like they had her come in with Liv, and I don't think I like that. It's just like give her own music. I mean, it was just a little weird as a choice there. And then when she got out of the cage, there was no pop. The crowd itself was kind of dead. I would say this is probably one of the worst crowds other than the Saudi crowds, and I don't know why. They just felt gassed, and they just did not seem like they were in it. But I think overall, with all of this pudding, I'm gonna put it as C. If I had to rate it on a like 1 to 10 scale, a lot of people I know was like around like 6. I think I'd put it like a 4.5 to 5. It just wasn't it for me. I just feel like there was just too much, too many botches, too much just overall stuff you just didn't care about. And it was one of those matches that the match had to be way better than what the fitness because the story sucked. So like the match had to be great, and I just think it failed. Then we got the LA Knight and Shinsuke Nakamura match. I feel like this match in general was just one of those solid matches, and with them pulling the trigger on Shinsuke Nakamura was needed, and it was a great surprise. It was definitely one of those like shocking things. Even though in my prediction video I predicted Nakamura to win, I still was shocked when he actually won because we just if you like Shinsuke Nakamura, you know that there's not always those chances are going to happen. So I liked the match. I thought the match was solid. Definitely believed be on the card. It had the least build up, so it really had to just be a good match. I think Nakamura's gimmick is perfect, and I like the wandering samurai type thing that he has going on. I like the new theme. I like the theme that they had on SmackDown over the theme that they had at Survivor Series, but it was still badass. So I'm gonna have to put this in B. Solid match, definitely deserve to be on the card. I think like B is where my level is. Like if it's not a main event, it's okay to be a B because it's a good match. Obviously, we weren't gonna look at like this just insane amount of like aerial assaults or these cool ass moves because they're on the older side. But like I think they went out there and they put up. I think it was good. Now we got the banger of the match, Sheamus, Braun Breaker, and Ludwig. I think just absolutely stole the show. It was going to be one of those matches that had that potential because they had some good rivalry behind it. And they've already had some really good matches. Like, I hate to keep saying banger because it's the whole Sheamus thing, but it definitely was. And I think it was the right decision. Have Braun win, have it build and culminate. The only thing I really didn't expect was Sheamus to take the pin. That was the only thing that I really, even in my prediction, that was the only thing I didn't think I was going to happen. I thought it was going to be Ludwig. But it was a great match. I'm going to put it up in A. I definitely think it really cooked and was definitely one of the best matches on the card, if not the best match, if we go over the rest of it. Next up, we have the Gunther and Damian Priest match. This one was like one of those grab bag matches. Like, I feel like it wasn't bad, but it didn't feel like anything different from the last match they had between each other. And having Finn Balor come down, even though I predicted it, felt very predictable. Even though it's like I was predicting it because I was trying to be like edgy and get a couple random predictions in it and be like, hey, look, I actually know what's going on. But I didn't really like. I thought maybe they wouldn't do that, but they really did. So I guess it's one of those things because I definitely don't want Damian Priest versus Gunther for the third time. I guess if they make it a triple threat, it might be better. And if they're leading to that, I'd be down. They could also be leading to maybe a possibility of like Damian Priest teaming up with somebody to take out the Judgment Day for the tag team titles. That could be cool. I feel like they need to do something like that to really progress the story and make Damian, built back up because this match obviously hurt him because, that. And the thing I always hate, it's one of my biggest pet peeves with matches, especially like when they're trying to make both people look good, is the whole like injury angle thing. I don't like it, man. Just let them go out there and brawl. Like I know it's a big trope, but it's one of my least favorites. I'm gonna put it in B. It was a solid match. I definitely feel like it's under the LA Knight and Shinsuke Nakamura match because the ending of the Nakamura match was, even though it was what I expected to happen, I was still way more shocked and way more excited for that compared to seeing Finn Balor come out there. Even though I did expect that also to come. Next up, we have the men's war game match, which is kind of interesting because like I grabbed an old thumbnail and I see like I'm pretty sure Cody Rhodes is on the team, even though that didn't happen. That definitely is Cody Rhodes. But I think the match had a lot of good, just like, I don't want to say like comedy aspects, but like the memes and stuff with the whole Roman and CM Punk in the cage. I think that was a good spot. I think the match itself, I think there is really good. You had that tsunami off the top where CM Punk pulled Roman off. That was such a cool action scene. And then obviously we saw Jimmy land one of those, which I think he broke his toe for, so I think it was worth it. I think overall it was the better War Games match by far. I don't think there's any fit into it. I feel like the decision was right to try to get one more match out of Roman versus Solo, maybe for the Ulafala. But I think overall, like, it was just a really good match. I'm going to put it in A. I definitely wouldn't put it above anything else. I think the wrestling sometimes was very weak in there, and the ending was very hokey with having, like, everybody do all their finishers on Solo, even though nobody else was available to help him. I just kind of, I don't necessarily like that spot as much. I mean, it makes Solo look cool because he took 5 finishers and they finally took him down, but honestly, I would have liked him to like take all of them and then kick out at 2, then pop him back up and then like do another finish on him, and then they would have done it. That would have been kind of cool, but I don't know. I think overall, I think the match was just solid. I mean, it was a good War Games match. I think it's exactly what you'd want in a War Games match. I think the teams look both really good. I'm trying to think of who, I don't think there's really that like an outstandingly terrible worker in that match. Like I can't think of anybody be like that's the guy that definitely dragged it down compared to like the women's war game match. I would possibly say the best worker might have been Jimmy. I mean, Jimmy had some good spots and he had that iconic spot off the top, so it's like that. I think also Bronson Reed, went in there and looked natural with Solo's team. I wonder if it's going to be like a one-off thing or if he's going to be with them permanently. They're not on the same show, so I don't know if that will be a thing. And I think Bronson Reed's still going to be in that rivalry with Seth Rollins and might wrap it back around, but I highly doubt that. So, yeah, tell me what you guys think. I'm going to have a couple more videos come out this week. I'm going to try to get back into more regularly scheduled. So make sure you're like, commenting, and subscribing. But tell me what you guys think. I think overall, I'd probably would put the card at like a 6.5, which is, I guess, moderate. I don't feel like it would be that bad if it was like one of those throwaway PLEs, but as a Big Four PLE, I think it was pretty bad to be rated that low. But I think overall, with the Shinsuke Nakamura win, because it was just so out of the blue, but like good, that I think it definitely saved it, and definitely that IC match definitely made the match card in general just kind of get picked up from that. So tell me what you guys think, and this has been Japan. Bye, guys.